Yo, what's going on everybody? So today I want to come back to you guys with another installment of the Wasted Potential series, and today I want to talk about the Uzumaki clan, who in my opinion, if we're being honest, we put all our chips at the center of the table. No one can disagree that the Uzumaki clan has the most wasted potential in the Naruto series, and I know someone's already typing down below, well, Naruto's an Uzumaki and Naruto's the most powerful ninja ever alive. You're absolutely correct, but Naruto is just one member of the clan. You have to look at the clan as a whole and look at all the information we have about the Uzumaki, and then look at how it was presented to us in the series. Now, we have all this information about the Uchiha clan, like 75% of the manga focus on the Uchiha in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It took us over 500 chapters before we actually got information about the clan that belonged to the main character. Now, this is absolutely mind-blowing, and in that one brief instance where we got a few tidbits of information sprinkled, we got a lot of information, but after that none of it was really expounded on. Now, what we found out in chapter 500, what we found out was that the Uzumaki clan were distant relatives of the Senju clan, and that Hashirama Senju valued their loyalty and valued their support, valued the fact that the Uzumaki were presenting different sealing jutsu to the Konoha village and to the Senju clan, and that in this time period they were viewed as so powerful that multiple nations had to team up in order to wipe them out. Now, to put this into perspective, Itachi and Obito were able to slaughter the Uchiha clan. Now, granted, they did so with a surprise attack, but the Uzumaki clan, according to Data Book 4, were viewed as so powerful and so much of a threat that even though they weren't officially a part of Konoha, they were recognized as being allies of Konoha, but they were viewed as so much of a threat that multiple nations teamed up because they thought that they were too powerful to exist. That's why I've always thought it was funny when people say, oh, well, Konoha's too powerful. Right, Konoha has a lot of powerful clans, but when you look at what happened with the Uzumaki, nobody really teamed up on Konoha like that. Konoha started a lot of wars under the third Hokage, but nobody looked at Konoha and said, yeah, they're too powerful, let's team up to take them down. They did that with the Uzumaki clan. When you look at the fact that they have stuff like the Reaper Death Seal, that shows you why people are absolutely feared when it comes to them. Now, the other thing is, it's like when you look at what happens with the Uzumaki clan, let's look at some of their traits, okay? Because a lot of people look at the Uzumaki and say, oh, they're just ripoffs of the Senju. That's kind of right, but it's kind of wrong at the same time. Like, we can look at Mito Uzumaki. Mito Uzumaki was so skilled with a sealing jutsu that in the Naruto manga, when Kushina Uzumaki is talking to Naruto about Kushina's backstory and giving information about the Uzumaki clan, we actually find out that Hashirama trusted Mito enough that in the final battle against Madara, Mito was right there. Mito actually broke the seal that, or the contract that Madara had with the kyuubi, and she sealed the nine-tailed fox inside of her, and she gave her strength to help Hashirama in that fight. So I mean, that shows you just a little bit. Further on in the flashback when Kushina's talking, we find out that the Uzumaki clan can briefly survive having a tailed beast extracted from them, and that's because of their enormously strong life force. And I want to put this further into his perspective for you, right? So when you look at the Uzumaki, their strong life force, the reason why you have people like Zetsu and Obito call them basically cockroaches is not only do they have an enormously high chakra reserve, but they also, with their life force is so great that it actually slows down their aging. Now, you can look at this for proof, right? You can look at this for proof. Now, Mito Uzumaki was born well before the founding of Konoha, okay? Well before the founding. So she's older than the elders that we see in Boruto, where, if I'm not mistaken, they're in their 90s. Tsunade should be in her 70s right now. She's older than all of them. She's older than all of them. And yet when Kushina meets her for the very first time, Mito still has coloring in her hair. Her hair hasn't even begun to gray. Like, Mito lived well into the time period of the third Hokage. So she's gone through over 20 years before Hiruzen Sarutobi even starts the second Great Ninja War. So I mean, that just shows you, okay, like, they're gonna live for a long time. Like, they retain their power for a really long time. When you read into Kushina's talking when she she's speaking with Naruto and you read into what she's saying, another thing we find out is that even though the Uzumaki have those special life forces, contrary to popular belief, not every person who's an Uzumaki is gonna be suited to become a Jinchuriki. They have to have a special type of chakra that is rare within the Uzumaki clan. Now, to put this in a further perspective, right? None of that was expounded upon. None of that was expounded upon. When you look at the Uchiha clan, when you find out that when it comes to the Mangekyo Sharingan, that very few people in the clan are able to awaken it, and you look at the series puts so much emphasis on Mangekyo Sharingan awakenings for all these different various Naruto characters. In particular, it seems like once we got past volume 30 of the Naruto manga, it seemed like every character who's an Uchiha had a Mangekyo Sharingan. And I mean, hell, even Kakashi, granted he had it via what happened with Rin when Obito saw Kakashi stab Rin and Obito awakens it and Kakashi gets it by default. But even Kakashi had Mangekyo. Like, Mangekyo is being passed out just like Super Saiyan was passed out in the Dragon Ball series, where in Dragon Ball Super Saiyan was viewed as something that was supposed to be very rare, and then every freaking character in the series who was a Saiyan became a Super Saiyan and just kind of went out of control from there. That's what happened with the Mangekyo. Now, when it comes to Uzumaki, they've kind of kept this close to the vest. When it comes to Uzumaki, who have the special chakra, who can be Jinchurikis and can use the adamantium chains, only Kushina, Mito, Karin, and Naruto have possessed that ability. Now, that's what I've always said. Like, I think it would be really, really awesome if we got that revelation that maybe Boruto can use the chakra chains, or maybe Himawari can use them. It'd be really cool to see something like that, because it would show that Naruto's children have that special chakra as well. There's a great chance they have it, but there's nothing that's really confirmed. Now, I have my own theory about why Boruto has the Jogan. I think that because Hinata has that chakra from Hamura and Naruto has Hagoromo's chakra, and because they mix all that, I think that that might be why he got the Jogan. But I mean, that's another video for another day. Here's the other thing, right? Here's the other thing. Now, when it comes to Konoha, not only did they look at the Uzumaki clan and say, we value their sealing jutsu, but we think that the friendship and we think that the support that they give us is so great that we'll take them onto our crest as a sign for our friendship. They allowed the Uzumaki clan to build up one of their shrines on the outside skirts of Konoha, and when you look at when Orochimaru went there, they had all these different various masks, and the Uzumaki clan, they've been wiped out to such an extent that they're spread out all throughout the ninja world, and it took Orochimaru years to track down the scroll that was able to reverse the Reaper Death Seal. So we know that there are Uzumaki sealing scrolls littered all throughout the world because of survivors. The Uzumaki clan showed a great level of stamina that someone like Nagato was able to wield both Rinnegan. Now, this is absolutely insane. Like Obito, okay? Obito, even with the Hashirama cells, couldn't use both Rinnegan. He could barely handle using one. Now, to put that in perspective, Nagato used two. Naruto, if he would have got the Rinnegan, probably could have used two. The Uzumaki clan, when it comes to this chakra and stamina, they're on a completely different level. Now, another thing that I found really interesting about the Uzumaki that really pissed me off is the fact that they had all this talk about sealing jutsu, and Kushina apparently taught Minato all these amazing seals, and we didn't see none of them getting used. Like, the closest we saw to some absolutely savage Uzumaki seals was when in the Three Tails filler arc, Tsunade, whose grandmother was Mito, which we can probably argue that Mito probably taught her the sealing jutsu. They used the sealing jutsu to attempt to seal away the Three Tails. So the Uzumaki have all these various seals, and I made a video weeks back talking about, is the Byakugo seal related to the Suzuki, and is it related to the Uzumaki clan? And I mean, it'd be really cool if we get that revelation in the next Boruto chapter, but there's no guarantee that we get it. But when you look at all these handouts that Sasuke got from his clan, and you look at what Naruto got, Naruto didn't get many handouts. When you look at Naruto in the war, this would have been the perfect opportunity if during that time that he's speaking with Kushina, if Kushina would have gave him a crash course on Uzumaki sealing. Like, we know that Naruto, he's a bit of an idiot, and he goes through trial and error, but Naruto, for the most part, if he sticks his mind to learning something, he can learn it, especially when Kurama is cooperating with him, or in this case, when Naruto's taking over Kurama's chakra. Granted, he had to learn how to use the kyuubi's chakra during this time, but if during his downtime while he's waiting for the chakra to replenish, if Naruto would have actually gone through and studied some of those seals, can you imagine how much of a beast Naruto would have been in the war? Because the only way to stop the Edo Tensei was to kind of give them talk no jutsu and touch their feelings and make them go back to the Pure Land, or you seal them away. How much of a beast would Naruto have been if Naruto would have been fighting the Edo Tensei and whipping out the Uzumaki clan seals, and we would have paid off that moment where Kushina's saying that their clan was so feared for their sealing jutsu. Like, when you look at it, at various points during the fight with Madara, Naruto could have theoretically sealed away Madara, and he could have done so before Madara took control of Obito's body and forced Obito to revive him via the Rinne rebirth. I mean, there's so much wasted potential. There's so much wasted potential with this, man. And what I think is even more of a letdown is the fact that when Karin Uzumaki uses the chakra chains, those adamantium chains, when that happens, Orochimaru just casually says like, oh, I knew she had the potential, and she awakened the same chakra chains that Kushina Uzumaki had. And it's just like, we see her just completely split that golem in half. She splits it in half like it's absolutely nothing, and then we don't see her use it again into the Boruto anime. Like, that's such a letdown. But I want to know from you guys, I really want to know from you guys, do you think it was a good idea to focus so much time and energy on the Uchiha clan and spend less time on the clan of the main character? And what would you like to see in regards to the Uzumaki clan going forward in the future? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.